Hey, what's up y'all? It's Zach, back with another video, and today we're doing an unboxing and assembly of the Darkstar 2.0 burner. So this one I think is a Northern Brewer product, but I didn't get it there. I got it from Midwest Supply, so I'll leave a link to both of them and where you can get it. And with that said, let's go ahead and get this unboxing out onto the table. But first, if you like this content, please give me a like and subscribe. It really helps me figure out where I want to take the channel. And also, if you have this and you like it, go ahead and leave me a comment. I bought it on a whim because it was cheap and it seems good. And the other options on Amazon seem a little sketchy. So I went ahead with this one. So with that said, let's go ahead and get it unboxed and out onto the table. All right, y'all, so this is all it came with. We have the burner, an instruction sheet, and then the propane regulator. The burner was double boxed and seems to have held up extremely well on shipping. No issues whatsoever. Everything seems firm and together. Yeah, so let's go ahead and get this regulator connected. I've got a wrench just so that make sure I don't have any leaks. Pretty good length of hosing here. I have no idea what this bracket is, but whatever. So I'm just gonna connect it into the air damper. This is nice, kind of fine control over the flame. Don't know how tight I can actually get it. The damper has these screws on them that are pretty bulbous and not tight, but I think that's obviously to allow you to turn the damper. So I don't know if I want to tighten them all the way because then it's really hard to move the damper. But one of them was very loose when I got it, so probably want to make sure that those are semi-tight so that it's just not flapping around in the wind. Yeah, overall, super happy with the construction here. Seems to be what I expected. Semi-budget burner that's, hopefully better quality than what you can get on Amazon, especially because you're working with fire, so it's a little sketchy sometimes. Hey, what's up guys? So for this burn test, I wanted to do just a quick analysis of how much propane it used. So over here, I have an empty propane. It's completely empty, there's nothing in there. And then I have a brand new one here. I know they're not obviously the same container, but they don't do fill-ups, they only do swap outs. So we're gonna do kind of a rough comparison here by weighing each one and then figure out how much propane we used. There we go, 16.4 pounds for the completely empty one. And then for the new one, we're at 32.2 pounds. So there we go, 32.2. We'll measure it once we get our pot boiling fully and see how much propane it takes. All right, hey, what's up guys? Here we are, I got everything set up. Got the pot with 5 gallons of water in it, hooked up to the propane. I got a bottle of soapy water. I'm gonna do a little leak test. And then also, I wanted to compare the gauge here. So it's a hot day, but it's reading 83, 84. And I have just a cheapy IKEA one here telling me 84. So good to know that my thermometer is calibrated, but I'm gonna fire her up. Definitely not gonna be able to do that one-handed, but the instructions say to leave the air halfway open, and then you can dial that. This is just simple on-off. That's secondary to the actual tank itself. So I'm gonna go ahead and get her lit. So here we go. I got her going. Did the leak test. Couldn't see anything. It seems like this thing can put out some serious heat. I mean, it's been on for a minute, and we're up 10 degrees Fahrenheit. So definitely you need to toggle with this airflow control a little bit. Started off just a bunch of orange flames. So kind of changing how much air gets in there will change your success. So that's something I have to work on because I don't really have a lot of experience with this, but super simple to get set up and no issues. So we're gonna do a boil test, see how long it takes, and then see how much water we lose. So just cut the fire off not too long ago. All in all, it took about 30 minutes. I let it go for 35 because I was playing with this thing. I will note it was some minor damage. I mean, obviously all the paint came off, completely to be expected. I took an infrared reading of this, and that was about 550. Everything else was pretty normal. I did this on a rug, which you shouldn't, but it raised the temperature like probably 15 degrees Fahrenheit. So yeah, all in all, it took about 30 minutes, and I think most of that was me just being cautious because I've never used kind of one of these propane burners like this, so didn't want to go too crazy. But like I said, I was playing with this air valve a lot, and whenever I wanted more heat, use this thing to turn it on, and there was a lot more to give. So I was mostly trying to dial it in and make sure that I had only blue flame and not the orange flame, because I don't want a ton of soot and carbon on the bottom of my pot. Yeah, I would say one thing I really dislike is this thing. I have no idea what it is, and having a kind of like a regulator with the connector with the tank regulator and this thing, like, it's kind of a pain in the ass to get on or off. So that's pretty much my only complaint. I'm gonna let this cool down and then I'll do a more thorough analysis, but I mean, this is ripping hot, and I mean, this is just hose water, so I don't really have any use for it right now. Alright guys, so I wanted to do a weight test here. So here's the same propane tank disconnected. And we're at 31.4 now. So I'm gonna put the original weight on the video now, and you can see how much it used. And that was for 35 minutes of being on. It did not take that long to boil, but I was kind of playing around with the gauge and trying to get to 212. I can only get to 211, but honestly I think that might just be the gauge being off. And then my other digital thermometer was it's just another cheapie. So I'm gonna go ahead and say that we were at boiling, because it was boiling for pretty much didn't change for like 10 minutes at that point, and I was messing with the air and cranking the heat. So I think that's pretty safe to say. Looks like we lost just about a quarter, or slightly more than a quarter gallon. And I did the full boil test with the lid off, and right now it is a wonderful 91 degrees and 61% humidity. So it's possible if it's really dry, you might have way more evaporation, but that's where I'm at right now. So again, I'll do a little quick review of the damage done as soon as it cools down. Alright y'all, so as you can see, paint took a serious beating, so definitely need to take all that off. I don't want to crumble it here because I got stuff, but I mean, honestly not even sure why these parts are painted, just because they get absolutely destroyed. Everything else held up pretty well though. This heat shield worked great for my kettle, because I have like I put the gauge and the 1/2-inch NPT fitting here, because the temperature gauge is not rated for super high heat. So I did that. It's nice because there's kind of a gap in the flames, and then of course here, this is the actual pilot hole. So I guess other thing I want to mention is on this thing, you want to turn off your propane tank first before you do this. That allows you to get all the propane out of this hose, makes it a little bit safer. But yeah, other than that, totally solid. Would recommend. It's definitely, I think, like the cheapest burner you can buy that like is made for home brewing. There are other options, but I skipped out on some of the Amazon ones that were a little bit cheaper just because they looked pretty sus. So yeah, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you like this content, and I'll catch you on the next one.